Hello, everyone. I am John DiJulius, president of the DiJulius Group, and I am so excited to be bringing you an interview today with one of our keynote speakers, our headliner, Mr. Joe Calloway. Joe, how are you?
I'm great, man. Wouldn't be anywhere else.
I'm so excited. Joe was he's a mentor of mine. He's a friend. He is the one of my all-time favorite speakers, authors. I'm reading his new book right now on my Kindle. Be the best at what matters most. As I was talking to you earlier, Joe. I'm on chapter 8, and I'm loving it. You've written many good books, great books. Why this? Why be the best at what matters most?
I tell you what drove the idea for this book, John, is particularly during the recession and even post-recession, it seems like so many of the businesses that I work with, and actually most of my clients are small businesses, both business to consumer, business to business, but I don't do that much big corporate business anymore. It's more smaller businesses. And so many of them, when they were having tough times, were they were here was a typical statement. Somebody would say, Joe, I'm doing every single thing I can think of to make my business work, and I'm just not getting traction. And my response was, well, that may be your problem, because the winners in business aren't the ones that are doing the most things. It's the ones that are doing the most important things. And so this book is a call for people to really get focused and get clarity on, honestly, John, just the handful of things that make the biggest difference in their business to their customers or to their clients, and really excel at those things. Instead of looking for the next gimmick, the next silver bullet, the next wow factor. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for wow factors. I just happen to believe that the greatest wow factors are quality and consistency instead of what's your latest gimmick.
Right. And that's so often in customer service. I try to share that when we give examples of the greats, Chick-fil-A or Nordstrom's. When you go into a Nordstrom's and you go into another department store, Nordstrom's isn't necessarily, carrying your bags out to your car for you, right? They're not, there may be incidences, but they're far and few between. But they're cordial. They're a little bit more space to walk around.
Yeah.
Actually, less merchandise, so you can see it. They don't limit the number of products you can bring into the changing room, and they walk around, give you your bag, and give you a sincere thank you. I mean, when you think about the things that, like, even Chick-fil-A does, there's just a few things, but they do it all the time,
Yeah.
every time. And while it's a rarity in their competitors.
You really hit on something, particularly with the Nordstrom's example, that I think is huge in the marketplace today. Nordstrom's makes it really easy to do business with them. I mean, everything from the less merchandise on the floor so you can see what you're doing, to taking as many items as you want in the changing room, they make it really easy. I'll tell you what, if the folks watching this want a takeaway right now, here it is. Look at every touch point in your business and think, how could we be easier to do business with? What is it that we could do with this process, with this interaction with customers, whether it's your website, your invoicing, whatever it is? Are we getting in our own way? Because I tell you what, when you and I ask our customers that question, or certainly when I do, if I say, are you getting in your own way? Almost invariably, when they think about it, they say, yeah, we really are. So being easier to do business with and doing those things that you just said, and I'm telling you, the consistency is such a key to it. Do it every time with every customer.
And Joe, it's so much harder to do it than to talk about it. Steve Jobs' quote, which I think really resonates with your book, is easier is so much more complex, or simple is so much more complex.
Well, it's so much harder. Simple is so much harder, but it's worth the work.
Right. And the great story when Steve Jobs comes back for his second term to rescue Apple, and they're on the brink. they're making 30 some computers. He says, no, we're making 4. A PC and a laptop for personal, PC and a laptop for business. I mean, he just simplified so many things. So I have the DiJulius group, all the employees reading your book right now because I battle with it, and it's not because I was as smart as you, but we've only worked on customer service. That is our niche, and that's the only thing we'll do. And so sometimes our staff doesn't understand why we don't take sales opportunities or leadership workshops that people will call up. And that's why I'll say, hey, you want sales, call Gittimer, right? Or call, so you want leadership, call this person. It's just not us. And so they think we're leaving opportunities out there. But it's so nice for them to read your book and a light bulb go off saying, oh, that's why. So we can become one of the best at customer service, and we'll can make more money on the other side if we're bringing total value to our clients.
Exactly. I got an email this morning, John, from a prospect who said, could you do a program on change for us? And I wrote back and said, yeah, I could, but Randy Pennington just wrote the best book I've ever read on change. Here's his link. Hire Randy. He's your guy. Because I want to stick with what I do extremely well and maximize and leverage that to the greatest extent possible. I'm telling you, you generate more revenue. At the end of the day, you're going to make more money with that approach than spreading yourself too thin. It's a very common mistake, particularly when people are trying to get their business going, or if they're going through a tough time, they start adding, saying, well, what else could we do? And sometimes it might be a smart thing to do, to add other options. But for most of us, we need to figure out where are we going to stake our claim, be the best at that.
And so how do you decide? I mean, should we build the most magnificent facility, right, the Taj Mahal? Should we offer more services so we can capture every type of potential customer out there? No. Should we be the smartest at what we do? Where do you pick and choose, or how do you help clients figure that out?
I don't know an easy answer to that, and I actually talk about that at 3 or 4 places in the book. I think that in many ways that's a really personal answer that you have to figure out, and it goes back, I think, John, to it's a cliche, but it's a cliche because it's true, which is, what do we do really, really well? And it's a 3-legged stool. The second leg is what does the market value? In other words, there's some things that I might do really. Oh, listen, I've run across them many times in my career. Things that I did really, really well that I loved to do. Only problem was there was no market for it, and I found that out quick enough. So it's got to be, what do you do really well that you love to do that there's a market for? People say, well, just follow your passion. That's fine, but it could be that your passion is no more than a hobby. If there's not a market for it, there's got to be a market for it. But I really think you have to be clicking on all 3 of those cylinders. And you're right, that's not an easy thing to discover. I think it's a process, and for me, it's a never-ending process. I mean, I'm always tweaking, but I tell you, the longer I do what I do, the more I tend to peel stuff away rather than add new things.
Yeah, and David Wagner, the author of Life as a Daymaker, spoke a couple of years ago, and I love the way he talked about it. He says, if you're great at something but don't love it, that's a job.
Yep.
If you love something and have all the passion in the world but aren't that good at it, that's a hobby, right? That's our golf game, right? Or that's tennis or whatever else we like to do but we can't get paid for it. He goes, if you're great at something that you love and people are willing to give you money for it, that's your calling.
There you go.
And that's what I really, really like, and I love the focus. I'm reading the focus chapter right now, and all the little examples. There's just so many pearls of wisdoms in here. My audiences are gonna love this. The Secret Service Summit. So we have companies, as you know, because you spoke at it our first year. We had over 50 or 60, just well-known speakers, Vern Harnish and Rory Vaden and the Shep Hykins of the world and Mickey Williams and just so many
Well,
phenomenal.
and you know what else, John, that I think is the great thing about the summit is you've got some terrific speakers that people have heard of, like you just named. But man, some of these industry people you bring in, like Arnie Malham,
Oh my God.
oh my gosh, I sit in the back of the room and I'm just soaking it up like a sponge because they're out there doing it every day in their businesses. And the insights that they bring, I love the summit. I think it's great.
And you're right. And I saw Arnie talked about it in your book, and you really could write a book on people like Arnie
Yeah.
and amazing stuff. And they're not professional speakers. So you're right. So we have two types of speakers: the experts, bestsellers, and then the practitioners. But for my audience who may not have been there in 2009, Joe, you're one of the top two highest rated speakers we've ever had. But you're coming back with a whole new angle and perspective. And because I'm so passionate about your book, we are giving a book to every single person that registers, and you're a draw because we are so far ahead of sales projections. We've got a bigger venue this year, and I wish we would have gone with even a bigger. I think we're going to tap out between 450 and 500, and that looks like it by the end of summer will probably sell out. So tell our audience, because as you know, we got Price Waterhouse and Chick-fil-A and Starbucks and Nestle in the room, and then we got medium-sized and we got mom and pop people from all over the world. How does this stuff apply to all realms, regardless of the industry and size?
Yeah, it's interesting. The principles that I'm going to talk about from the book, and it really does have equal application. This morning, a speakers bureau and I concluded an agreement with a Fortune 100 company who they read the book and said, this is what we need to work on. We've got to get refocused. And the principles, I mean, whether you're a mom and pop pancake restaurant, Fortune 100, the principles have equal application. And one of the things I'm really excited about for the summit is I'm going to show them honestly, and every time I share this with an audience, I tell them it's the truth, the most powerful idea I ever heard in business. And I first heard it, John, 35 years ago. And I'm going to pass that idea on to everybody there. And it's just, I mean, when I first heard it and started to use it, the light bulb exploded over my head. So there's going to be a really, really powerful take-home exercise, and I'll give you a teaser on it. It's about how to go from good transactional relationships to really strong ongoing partnerships. And it's almost a strategic template on how to do that. And the beauty of it is it is so simple. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to get clarity on what's truly important in your business. I really think people are going to hear the information and they're going to look at their business with new eyes. I think they're going to have a whole fresh look at their business and what they do and what's important in what they do.
Joe, I love that, and I'm dying to know what this idea is, because it's obviously worked in your business. You've built an incredible consulting business, written so many bestsellers, and this one, I believe, Be Best at What Matters Most is going to top them all if it hasn't already. And the really cool thing about Joe is you're not a typical keynote speaker. You don't get up there and speak for 90 minutes. I love it. I mean, you are. It is like there's going to be 500 people here, and I think 5 years ago there was 275, and that's the one comment I heard. People said I felt like I was sitting across from him at a table. You know how hard, Joe, I don't know how you do that. I could never, don't even want to learn because I just, it's not me. But man, I don't know how you recreate that type of experience for an audience member to think, I had a conversation with Joe Calloway one-on-one today.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. As a matter of fact, if you go to my website, it says Joe does not give typical speeches. It's very interactive. It's very conversational because I've gotten to the point where I don't know any other way to do it. but I really want the people to engage with me, with each other, and with the ideas. I mean, I want them going home, and that's the great thing about the summit is I think they go home with this from all of the speakers, but I want them going home thinking, not only did I hear good ideas, but I can do this stuff, and I can do it immediately, and I don't have to write a check to do it. It's just a matter of starting to do it. So I want them halfway through my presentation to be looking at their watches thinking, I want to go to the airport and go home because I want to put this stuff into action right now.
I've never heard a speaker say that. Yeah.
I want them saying, giddy up, let's do this stuff.
Well, whenever I heard you, Joe, I'm always disappointed it's over. That's So Joe, what is the website that they can go learn more? Because my audience is sponges. They are the ones that are newer to the summit that don't know who Joe Calloway is. How can they find out more?
All they got to do is the website is my name, which is Joe Calloway, as you see on the screen, CALLOWAY.com. Hey, I'll tell you something cool for your listeners, watchers, John, is if they go to joecalloway.com, go to the videos page, scroll down, and they can access, immediately, and it's free. It's totally free. We just love doing this. 21 short, like 2-minute videos that they can use in their team meetings to kind of help set up a team meeting, and it's on 21 different topics. It's me talking, but they can have instant, immediate access to 21 videos. We sold them for years, and then finally we looked at each other and said, let's just give them away. And so that's kind of a cool thing. But yeah, they can find out more about me and what I do. There's a fun blog on there. I'd love for them to come visit.
Visit joecalloway.com. The cool thing about Joe is one of my mantras is give more. And I don't care if it's to a client, to your neighbor. If I borrow someone's truck to move furniture, I want to give you that truck with more gas, cleaner than how you gave it to me. And Joe, you really taught me that. I mean, in everything you do, you just share. And it's simple. These ideas are so good. How we came. I'll tell the audience, I've spoken at a lot of events, and a lot of times I'm fortunate to be one of the highest rated speakers, and a couple of times I've come in second or third, and it's always this Joe Calloway guy. I'm like, who is this guy? I got to top him. So I went and sat in your audience. 2004, NSA, National Speakers Association, and I saw you speak to 2,000 people. And I said, well, I know my limitations. I will be just fine coming in second. So, but Joe, you were great. You didn't know me from Adam. And the two takeaways I had from there is all the stuff that came back next year, made my staff watch it, bought one of your videos, had my whole salon team watch it, Let It Go, that Let It Go speech. But you don't have to hire more staff. You don't have to complicate anything. You make it simpler, but you can do it tomorrow. Right? It's not like, in 6 months, if we really work at this system. That's what I love. And the other thing is, Joe, like you just shared, people could download 26 short clips to show at their meetings. Joe, you've been a mentor. You didn't know me in the beginning. I'd call you up. I'd pick your brain. I'd speak really fast because I didn't want to bother. And you'd say, slow down. I'm here. What do you need? And you're just so generous, Joe. And I always try to do that to people that ever reach out to me, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it was not for you showing me.
Well, I tell you what, if you ever want to change careers, you can be my agent. How's that? And let me tell you something. All I want to be is like you when I grow up, buddy. You're a mentor and a role model to everybody in the business, and you know that, John. You've built a great business. Well,
thank you, John. I'm so excited to be bringing you back. Having my audience that's never seen you be exposed to Joe Calloway, joecalloway.com. Be best at what matters most. If you're coming to the summit, you will get it as a gift from us, because it is that important that we bought 400, and we probably need to buy more because we're way over expectations, and we're going to be standing room only. So joecalloway.com. Joe will be our big headliner at the Secret Service Summit. And Joe, I can't thank you enough for being a part of our Secret Service Summit again.
My pleasure, buddy. It's an honor. I can't wait.
All right. You have a great day, Joe.
Thanks, John.